Good evening and salutations, my Jade fans. Hmm. Brooklyn and Chase. These two are very challenging to talk about in a sense because I've been sitting there trying to not always be so negative. I'm always trying to put more of a positive spin on some of this stuff, unless the tank is empty. The problem with these scenes, oops, the problem with these scenes is like the episode today with those two kind of reminded me like the episode when they were last seen. It's pretty much just Brooklyn supporting Chase through his grief. Not gonna lie, there was probably I think like maybe one or two moments where it did get to me. But for the most part, him talking about scatting his ashes and should he do it, and Brooklyn being like maybe we should leave it here, and it seemed like it was every other time since Gregory died that you just sit there and see Brooklyn supporting Chase, which they're not terrible scenes, but like why I don't know why, but watching their scenes today seemed like it just made the episode so much more longer than it probably needed to be. Um, Liz, you know, for years, and I said this in my live stream yesterday. For years, I didn't really like you on Facebook years ago. It was like Jesus Christ. Like you would honestly think that Liz is like the Antichrist. I never saw Liz that bad. And I know there used to always be this whole Liz fans versus Sam fans. I never really understood the level of hate that Liz got. But lately, um, yeah, I don't think that she's the Antichrist, but she has this way of just being very judgmental. And I remember reading a comment because she was on this today, and one of the things she was there asking was, "Are you going to drink again?" And I'm like, no addict could sit there and promise that. And one of the comments was there saying the reason why she's being so hyper about this is because she had issues with Lucky. But my whole thing is like, don't bring your past relationship woes that you have with somebody else into your new relationship because it's not fair for the new man, the new woman in your life to be practically be like, oh well, I have to sit there and deal with okay, well that was that person, that's not me. And I kind of resent the fact that you are being so much more hypertension, with this situation with me because of your other issues that you have with your past boyfriend. That's not on me. And, you know, he tells her, listen, you know, the drinking was never the problem. It was the pills. Then she starts trying to get all like, well, when it comes towards addiction, one addiction, it's like a vice or some BS or whatever she was trying to say, like she was super knowledgeable about addiction. But at the same time, you're sitting there asking, are you ever going to drink again? And that's something that no addict can sit there and promise you. And you should know that since you're coming at him with so much of this virtual judgmental speech. On top of the fact that she once again brings it up, how sideways, how mad or how hurt she was the way that he came at her. And I'm like, do you not understand the fact that his dad died? He slipped up one time, it happened, and he's been doing meetings and going to the work, doing the work and everything. But yet she's still like The fact that she still brought that up was just like, what is wrong with you? I mean, don't get me wrong. She started off nice. She came in with a care package of like food and brownies and stuff like that. But like after a while, it just start going back into judgmental Liz. Yeah. So that's pretty much exactly how that scene went. Now John comes to question Sonny. So they're saying, oh, the attempted murder on Jason's life and everything, and they go back and forth a little bit, and you know, at that point, Diane's like, my client's not saying another word. Okay, cool. I'm gonna bring you downtown. Okay, so at this point, you're just gonna be a pain in the ass and just inconvenience him at this point because you know that this conversation is not gonna go any better here than it will down at the station. Now, I don't want to sit there and say he's being, in a sense, he's being petty, but I understand his reason for disliking Sonny, so I don't know exactly how much of the petty meter that I could sit there and put on him. But um, after Diane's pretty much like, oh, I'm gonna sit there and file, a complaint to your superiors and stuff like that. He's like, okay, fine. Um, I'll bring you down later on if we find some more evidence. But of course, Sonny had to sit there and glow. And of course, John reminds him, you know, you took a brain damaged kid to be your enforcer. And now you're pretty much getting rid of him by trying to kill him. Now, we know that he didn't sit there and send a hit. And unfortunately, he's pretty much off his meds. So I can't even sit there and say you're being foul to him because he's paranoid as hell to some extent. I don't see that's my whole thing, right? Because it's very back and forth, right? Like he goes to Carly's place. He was like, "Oh, just let you know, I didn't try to kill Jason. I just thought you should know. And, make sure you tell Jason too. Son, you've been walking around with this attitude that you don't give a damn about what happens to Jason. Not that long ago, you practically threatened him. Why are you so concerned that, like Carly said, why are you so concerned that he should know? Why do you feel the need to sit there and tell her? This is where it's like, what part of this is paranoid and what part of this is him? It's very all over the place, and it makes situations like this very difficult to judge. Um, Now before that, Drew came in, getting Carly's advice on if he should run for congressman, and Drew talking about, listen, my dirt lawyer's going to come out, but they're going to be sitting there hounding you as well. Carly's like, listen, whatever happens, happens. I'm not worried about it. Um, Carly tells him about some of the bad stuff that can come up, and Drew talks about some of the good stuff that he's doing. So it's he has a shot at winning. Um, I still, in some way, kind of agree with Michael. Okay, I still kind of agree with Michael in some ways. Like you're kind of leaving Aurora at on alert or whatever, and Curtis is still new, so you still got that going against you. And then if you lose, you're just not going to lose. Your business is going to suffer. Michael's going to suffer. Curtis is going to suffer. It could just be downhill. Hell, I actually tell you the truth, if he wins, Aurora can still suffer. So you just have to sit there and wait, really. So at the end, it gets off the phone. Jason's like, "Who's on the other end?" Anna doesn't really say anything, and you know, I think Jason's like, let's not gotta sit there and tell Sonny something or whatever, and Anna's like, well, you need to sit there and stop protecting him. But then eventually Anna tells Jason that it was Valentine, and now Jason's like, in a sense, he's looking at her like, how you gonna sit there and tell me not to protect Sonny? My first instinct to do that when you're doing that with Valentine. But at this point, he wants to sit there and tell Kate, like, hey, listen, Valentine is, Valentine's the head of Pikeman. Idea was good. That's on you. You figure it out, and my life is free. Which is what kind of odd for Jason. Jason is always very methodical, right? And Anna had to be the one to reason, being like, hey, listen, if Valentine slips through this, and the FBI don't get Valentine, you're not going nowhere. You're not getting under their thumb. Jason realized, yeah, he's right. There is another caveat to that, but hopefully if Diane could sit there and really secure like um to make it final, because this is something that Anna said. Anna was like, all right, they can let you go now, but then call you back up later on because they still got that evidence on Carly. What makes you think they won't use it? That's the ultimate problem right there. Now Anna's like, listen, I can. At first, Jason's like, I'll go get it for Valentine. Anna's like, that's just stupid. That's just foolhardy. She's like, I'll do it. Jason doesn't have the patience, but Anna's like, listen, if you do it, you get caught, it's a wrap. I can get invited. He still loves me. Let me do this. So, Jason realized, yeah, we got to sit there and do this right, because if I rush in, guns blazing or whatever, no one wins and Carly's still screwed. And you're still screwed too. Which, he doesn't care about himself, but he cares about Carly. First, you think he should probably care about himself as well, not just because of his kids, but also, you know, well, let's be honest, he should he should also think about his kids. Let's just be real. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else that wound up happening in this episode, but if I miss anything, you know what to do. Write in the comment section, let me know. And with that being said, I'm gonna go. I'll see you in the next video.